I'm Chris Lawrence with your top stories in North Texas. The Texas Senate race is tightening, and one Republican congressman told Jason Whiteley new polling shows it's going to be a nail-biter.
I'm Jason Whiteley. Ken Paxton facing a new challenge from his own side. Conservative voices are questioning whether the Republican Senate nominee is actually doing enough to win. Even Fox News has raised the question. Paxton's campaign calls it fake news and says he is hitting the campaign trail all across the state. But this race is getting tighter every week. Recent polls have repeatedly shown Democrat James Tallarico with a narrow lead. But the latest survey out on Thursday, this one from Emerson and Nexstar, now has Paxton up by 1. So how do Republican leaders really see this race shaping up? Early voting begins in 2 months, and I asked Congressman Pat Fallon that question.
I think it will be tight. I think Ken will win between 1 and 4 percentage points, because at the end of the day, when you look at the binary choice that you have, which you have, Ken Paxton will reflect the values and priorities of more Texans than Tallarico will.
Why is Tallarico resonating with Texans, do you think?
Well, they don't know him yet, and wait until the right of center spends $50 to $100 million to explain to Texans who James Tallarico is. They just don't know who he is yet. They know who Ken Paxton is for the last 12 years, and Ken's, let's be honest. I mean, Ken's got some baggage. He was impeached by the House, not good. He had those indictments. Nothing really came of those, but there's always going to be some smoke, and some people react to that.
Congressman Fallon is right that attack ads have not yet begun on either side in this race. Those are likely to start just after Labor Day. But zooming out, what do Republican chances look like with gas prices still high and inflation continuing to creep up? Our unedited conversation with Congressman Pat Fallon on Inside Texas Politics. You can watch it right now on WFAA.com or stream it anytime on WFAA+.
Firefighters are working to learn what sparked Sunday afternoon's massive fire in Dallas. It started in the Redbird area and could be seen as far north as Plano. And as Brittany Moncrief discovered, this property was flagged by the city 2 years before the fire.
I heard a loud bang, like a bomb.
Beyond county lines.
Tell my wife, I said, I hope that's not over there where our house is at.
You could see the smoke. And on Barstow Boulevard.
Too close for comfort, I would say.
In Oak Cliff's Redbird area.
I'm just curious about what the smoke gonna do to the neighborhood.
Because for years,
I called it the Sanford & Son house.
Neighbors like Sean say this home had nothing but junk.
It had a tarp on the roof.
She didn't want to show her face on camera, but says when she saw this fire Sunday evening,
I was like, finally, because that house was an eyesore.
Dallas Fire Rescue says the fire started in the house, collapsing the roof, and spreading to the backyard where there were scrapyard items, including trailers and tires.
That's all you saw was the smoke and them trying their best to put it out. And you heard the fires and the tires pop.
Thankfully, no one was hurt. One person with knowledge of the concerns at this property says it's been a problem.
There's been some concerns regarding just a bunch of illegal activity there.
Dallas Code Compliance tells us their most recent activity before the fire was in 2024 for mow, clean, tire removal, and code concern service requests, which have all been closed.
Been at least 2 years since somebody's actually checked up on this place.
I don't expect the city to do anything, truthfully, because why would you? It's been there for years like that.
And after a dark cloud like this,
they need to just tear that house down. I mean, it looks the same. It looks almost the same from what it was before.
Residents hope the city's response will be quicker to avoid getting to this point. In Oak Cliff, I'm Brittany Moncrief.
Residents are calling out Rowlett's Animal Services Agency over altering photos with AI. Luke Clary is getting answers on why the shelter did it and how it represents a bigger problem.
The idea was to celebrate the recently completed shade structure here at the Rowlett Animal Shelter. But when people started comparing the glossy, picture-perfect images in the post with the real facility, they shared them with us. And we started asking questions. Malcolm Hornsby is the city's director of communications, but the extra polished photos shared on Facebook triggered its AI content flag. We asked him about that, and he sent us these. The originals, acknowledging his office used AI tools to clean up the shelter's appearance. The city also posting this follow-up, addressing the controversy. The photos touched another nerve. 3 years ago, voters approved $8.4 million for a new shelter, and they're still looking at this one. Council's looking at a city-owned site Monday. He said the covers were funded through an existing maintenance fund, not the bond money. Now, as his department reviews its policies around AI-edited content, Hornsby says something like this won't happen again. So talk me through the conversation that you're having now with your staff and city leaders.
Yeah, it's true that the AI tools, they are here, they're not going anywhere, but they should be used just as that, as a tool. They should never replace the work of humans.
In the future, he says, AI might be used to draft a caption, not to alter reality. In Rowlett, I'm Luke Clary.
Dozens of volunteers came out for a community build day in McKinney to make progress on a future home. Morgan Young shows us why it means so much to the woman who'll live there.
I'm gonna get some paint on the brush.
Home can be a lot of things. For Ramona Lewis,
Well, as a kid, I played here. My son played here.
it's where her memories live.
I've been here all my life, so this is my stomping ground.
Her father owned this property on Garcia Street in McKinney. When he passed, it became hers, but it housed hardship.
My husband had a stroke and he couldn't do much anymore, and then so my house just kept deteriorating, where it became too much, where I couldn't financially, fix the house up.
Ramona eventually lost her husband Larry in that house. You'd think she would have lost hope, but no.
And I can only trust in the Lord, he's leading and I'm following.
Ramona's hope is housed in her faith and supported by her community.
When Habitat came in play, it just put everything in proportion.
Habitat for Humanity of Collin County initially intended to fix Ramona's home,
Maybe just stick it right there.
but realized
Seems look good.
they needed to start from scratch. The demolition was in April. Fast forward to this.
And seeing it from being built from the foundation up, tearing down the old house and pouring slab and seeing how fast, everything has come together.
Lifted on ladders, sweating it out in the sun.
I don't know how people do it because I'm more of an AC woman.
Habitat for Humanity volunteers put a fresh coat of paint on what will be Ramona's new home.
It hasn't really hit me yet. It hasn't hit me.
We'll wait till they're done, but I think we got 99% of it.
For volunteers like Brett Quist,
It's nice to see how it starts from nothing and we get it all done.
he started doing this 16 years ago with his church and kept the mission going.
I love spending my Saturdays out here. You people think, I don't have the time, but you do it once or twice, and before you know it, it becomes in your blood.
Each project, each home.
Everyone counts, right? Every little bit helps.
Because for people like Ramona Lewis, the best part about home isn't what she'll have, but what she plans to share.
Having a God-warming home where you can invite someone over, be at peace, be safe.
In McKinney, I'm Morgan Young.
Have no doubt her friends and neighbors will have plenty of times sharing that home with her. And those are your headlines from North Texas.